What's up, players? Welcome to episode 96 of Ready Press Play, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of video games. Every Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases on all platforms, what we're playing, big topics of the industry, and the games we love. If you want to write anything to be read on the show, go to ReadyPlayNetwork.com or hit us up at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is November 12th, 2021. I'm your host, Louis Menchaca, and joining me today, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Daniel Lima.
Hello, Louis. I hope you're having a decent day today.
A decent day.
Not great, just decent.
Just decent, yeah. So because I just wanted to I'm gonna out Dan.
You can out Dan me.
Yeah.
All right.
As I'm gonna out Dan as a fake ass bitch, a fake ass friend. He sucks. He doesn't even care about his friends.
No, not at all.
He didn't even
terrible.
do a post on Twitter wishing me a happy birthday. He didn't even send me a DM. No, nothing. Like, I see how it is.
Yep. Man, I just don't like you that much. Like you haven't made it to that tier yet where it's worthy of the tweet. I gotta really value my tweets. You know what I mean? Like I got a limited amount of them.
Exactly.
But for reals though, happy birthday. It's honestly, I didn't even remember or know, and I don't go into social media enough to be reminded about these things sometimes. But I'm also not the kind that goes and does those like big long posts where I'm talking about how much I love everybody and things like that. I'm just kind of like a more quiet dude when it comes to these types of things. But anyway, I do hope you had a good day. I do wish you a happy birthday. You want to talk about how you celebrated it?
Yeah, just basically, I went to my friend's wedding. My friend decided to make my day about him, and he got married. And every year from now on,
bitch.
And every year from now on, it's gonna be his anniversary.
What's funny, dude?
Yeah.
It's funny that I have two huge best friends of mine from Brazil, the ones that I played Fortnite with this year and stuff. And they're named Victor and Felipe. And Victor's birthday is on November 11th, just like you. And Felipe's birthday is November 7th, so just like a few days before it. And I got married on November 7th. So like there's all these coincidences here where like I got married in my friend's birthday, but my other friend's birthday is a few days after that, and that's your birthday, which is also the day your friend got married. So I don't know what is it about November. It feels like things just happen. Or specifically this like first like 2 weeks in November, it feels like a lot of things just happen around this time frame.
Yeah, I think so. It's just more of like you have like a certain personality thing that just attracts you to Scorpios, you know? I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, no, I just decided to spend time with. I got dressed up, for the wedding like this. I'm wearing the same thing here, and I decided to just have a birthday dinner, some food here at the house, have a celebrate little birthday cake, and it was really good. It was a really good day. I just kind of kept it low key. I'm only. It's not a 5, so I think it's like you only do it big if you're turning 25, 30, 35, 40. So if it isn't divisible by 5, let's keep it low key. That's kind of how I feel.
Are you 33 now?
Yep, 33.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Getting old.
Yeah. So there's that, and as far as what else happened here, let me see here. Let me look at the doc here on this. Oh yeah. So we have a lot of housekeeping to do here, and so I'm gonna do bad news, good news. So bad news first, good news to sort of take the edge off. Bad news, we are leaving Level 1 Gaming.
Dun dun dun.
I know, right? We are no longer gonna be on video, so we're gonna make it to January. I don't know if we're gonna end on 102, which would be the end of December, or make it to 104, which would be our 2-year anniversary. Like a couple weeks into January. One of those 2 episodes will be our final video episode. We will continue posting audio. So you audio listeners, nothing changes for you guys. But for Level 1 Gaming crew, yeah, we're just going to yeet ourselves. We're going to see ourselves at the door
Yeah, and if you're interested, you can always go and follow our podcast in all sorts of audio podcast feeds. There is, I use Overcast, the app on my phone, but you can go on Apple. I don't even know what it's called
Spotify.
anymore. I think it's just Apple Podcast. There's Spotify. There's
Yeah.
Google Play something. Yeah, any place where you get your podcast should be available there. If not, you can tweet at us. Which also, if for whatever reason you're upset that we're leaving video, I also want you to tweet at us. If you're somebody that watches the video every week and you're like, oh, I actually really wish that you would remain on video, please tweet at me at Dan Lima, so that
Or at Ready
or
Press
even
Play.
at Ready Press Play, yeah, so that we're aware of that. Right now we're under the a little bit of behind the curtains here, but we're under the impression that there's not a lot of people that do consume our podcast through the video as opposed to the audio, or that that require it or want it. So if you do, that would be good for us to know. So yeah, feel free to pass that information along to us.
Yeah, and this is our decision. This has nothing to do with Level One Gaming.
Yeah.
The people at Level One Gaming never told us to like get out. We never, that's never been the case. If anything, I'm pretty sure I upset David when I told him, "Hey, we're leaving," and I'm like, he couldn't say anything about it, but So, but yeah, hopefully they can fill out their content schedule because I know we filled in their Saturday slot. So now they're going to be without a Saturday slot, and their Tuesday slot we vacated because I ended Ready Play Movies. So I am so fucking up David's sign out for Double XP like so badly that at this week's Double XP he used to do the spiel where it's like 7 days a week. We got Wednesday this, Thursday this, Friday that, Saturday this, and this for this week's Double XP podcast, he just said Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He didn't even mention us. We're already no longer getting the shout out, and we're still gonna be on video till the end of the year. So he already started like getting us out of his spiel. So
Sure, I understand.
but yeah, so there's that, and then what else? Let's see. So that was the bad news. Is that we are we're taking an exit from video, but Lewis, will still be on this YouTube channel. They're not going to kick me out just yet. Last week I alluded to the fact that I was crossing my fingers. I was going to hope I get the gig. Now it's official. Last weekend during the 24-hour live stream, it was announced that I am going to be the new co-host of Cogs in a Machine. So I am going to be trying to fill in some shoes that are just ridiculously hard to fill because like I already feel like I can't measure up and all that stuff. I got like little self-conscious things going on, but hey, I guess I'm the right person for the job. And so you'll still see me on Tuesdays starting in January, which means that if we time it right when it comes to ending video, I will never be leaving. I will constantly be on Level 1 Gaming week to week to week to week. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so you're supposed to say congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
But yeah,
I guess it's because I've known about this for a long time, so it doesn't feel like news to me.
That's true.
Yeah.
I told him in the behind, like as it was like being formulated. So, but now it's official. It can be public. It's public news now. So, all that being said, let's go ahead and get into some impressions. Dan, I am surprised that you didn't put anything down for impressions. But
dude, I've just my life has just been getting in the way. I can tell you the things that I have touched on here and there over the last few weeks. I'm still very slowly getting through Metroid Dread. I think I'm a little over 3 hours in at this point, maybe like 30-40% of the way through the game. I can say that I really like the game. I think there's a lot of good stuff there. I think it's fun. I do not think it is frustratingly difficult, but that being said, I am also using a guide to play the game, and the reason is just because I'll tell you, I'm not like, it's not like I have the guide open as I'm playing it the entire time. It's just that because I play it in almost like 30-minute increments, every time I go back to it, I don't want to have to deal with the whole like, what was I doing again? Where was I going to? What am I, what is my next objective? So I like just kind of pulling up a guide to be like, oh yeah, I was on the way to get the Morth Ball. All right, like close it and like get back to whatever it was that I was doing. So I've been using it kind of like that to prevent myself from getting lost. Because getting lost in a Metroid game can be a little annoying. Like maybe you're all the way in a corner of a map, and then you're actually supposed to be in the other corner, and you gotta make your way back, and then you get there, and you're like, wait, you're not sure, so like you make your way back to where you were originally. Like, so I'm just trying to avoid having to do that. I want to kind of like mainline through the game without too much of that. But so far so good. I've been enjoying it. I did just get the Morph Ball recently, and it's a very traditional Metroidvania game in the sense that you get this new power, and then it's like, okay, where is everything that I can interact with now that I couldn't before that I can with the new power? And then you go and you try to explore everything again, and get to do that. And then obviously I already talked about when I shared impressions about it before, but this game is just very competent in the way that it implements Samus moves and like combat acrobatics in a way that is improved upon when compared to older games like Super Metroid or something like that. I'm sure that if you go back and you play, Metroid 1 or 2 or even Super Metroid after playing this game, that they would feel clunky in comparison, just in the sense that there's a lot of smoothness to Samus movement on this one, and the way that you can like wall jump and slide and all these things. Everything just feels very nice.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm continuing to play that, and then hopping into Psychonauts or Halo 2 here and there. Um, but yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna finally get to start playing Metroid now. So for me, I actually reviewed a game for Level One Gaming. I alluded to it last week when I talked about it, and I didn't get to say what game it was because I didn't know if I was allowed to say it or not. But the review is already out on the written review is out on the Level One Gaming website, and I managed for the first time ever managed to put out a video review technically the same day, not the same time, but the same day as it posting. So I just had to put it out at night. But yeah, so I put the video review out. It's on this YouTube channel. So if you are already watching us, then you can just literally scroll just a couple of videos down and you see it. So yeah, I reviewed Bright Memory Infinite. That was the game that we got, and it was like the big secret. And I was at the time when I was hinting at it or whatever. I hadn't even launched it yet. I was getting ready to play it the next day, and now having played and beat the game, I gotta say that I was underwhelmed. I gave it a 6. It was pretty like I almost gave it a 5 because I was thinking it was pretty mediocre, but there were a lot of good things about it that a 6 was more warranted. But just the feeling, it was a 5.
Hmm.
But it was I rewatched the original X like after beating the game after rolling credits. I went back and rewatched the reveal trailer from like May of 2020 when the Xbox Series X was being promoted, and this is on like Microsoft's first party digital event, and the trailer was way better. It was like lies, like not like lies, but like it looked cooler than what you actually got. So like the level design doesn't like really fit the play style that they were showing on the video, and there was a hook shot that's in the game, but the hook shots are only contextual. But in the gameplay trailer, it was showing the hook shot being used all willy nilly, like part of your move set. But that's not the case. But ultimately, it's a game that, just to give you guys like a little like explanation, Bright Memory Infinite is basically like if you were to take Doom, mix it with Devil May Cry, and then there you go. So it just sort of falls short as far as like the fun level factor, and it's a short game. I beat it in 3 hours.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched your review. I thought you did a good job on the editing with the transitions and stuff, which I think is an improvement compared to your previous
yeah, no more
video
black
review that I
screen.
watched.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that got a bit better. And I have to say, when you brought up this game, and I kept joking and doing puns last episode with other games that were coming out this week that were not the one you're reviewing.
yeah,
I have to say I had totally forgotten this was a game. I think I've erased this title from my memory. I've watched all of those presentations with you, and we talked about them in the show.
yep.
But I didn't really remember this game at all, which makes me think that I don't know if this was supposed to have a big marketing push at some point, but maybe it didn't get it like towards the release at least.
Yeah, I noticed
Because
that IGN didn't put out a review for the game, by the way, but GameSpot did, so that's what that was weird.
I have a feeling that had you not been reviewing this game and brought it up to us, that we probably would not even have talked about it in the podcast in any capacity. We're just gonna have flown by kind of thing.
We wouldn't have
Which
even read the blurb.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But when I watched your review, I have to say I was kind of positively impressed with what I saw, especially as far as the visuals of the game. I
Oh
was like,
yeah, yeah.
dang, this,
That was the best thing about the game
yeah.
was the visuals.
You talked about that in the video, right? But I just want to highlight it. It's like, damn, this game looks good. Like, this doesn't look like an indie game. This looks like this is legit. It made me think of that other Chinese game that we talked about as well about a year ago, which was called Black Myth Wukong or something like that, which was also this incredible
It's
looking.
like a monkey, right? Like a monkey
Yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That was another incredible looking game, and I think that shows that that folks in China that are working in these games, they got the
They got the
the
juice.
graphics
Yeah.
chops. Like they got the chops to make these games look really incredible. It's a shame that it didn't live up to the visuals as far as the gameplay and everything else in the game goes. And when you mentioned the situation where it's like you went back and you watched the trailer, on one side I'm like, well, is it worth like, or is it fair to necessarily compare it to that, when you didn't even have that in your head anymore? You're intentionally going back and looking at it for the comparison's sake, right? Which I feel like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And I think it's like not always fair, but on the other end, that also is a good way for you to see maybe what the developers intended the game to be versus what it ended up being due to constraints, lack of time, resources, whatever. Because they probably did want that hook shot to be a mechanic that you could just kind of use at any point in the game.
Probably.
But that can cause a lot of problems, right? So it could be something that ended up getting cut because of that, and they made it a contextual, cinematic part of the game instead. So yeah.
Yeah, I was actually like, I was already just to be fair about my review, like I was already like kind of like meh going into like my feelings of like before I
Hmm.
was going to like type out my review. I only rewatched the video review because I was trying to get the date as to when it got released. I was trying to fact check myself, and in doing so, I just sort of like naturally like evolved to, oh, let me just rewatch it, and
Right.
just rewatching it like was like way better than what I experienced, and I'm like, well, damn, I wanted this game, but I remember being hyped about the game, you know, from that feeling, that emotion of what it made me feel having watched it in that Xbox presentation. And I remember thinking to myself, I need to make sure to put this on my radar and keep it on my radar. And it just kind of sucks that it did sort of like fell flat on its face, kind of sort of. But like I said, like the visuals, like I had like as you guys watch my video review, I had ray tracing, turned on, and I was actually able to see on like my monitors, my dual monitor setup, what it looks like without ray tracing on a preview window, and it looked like
Hmm.
ass without ray tracing. Like the face had no shadows on it; it was very flat, and I'm looking at my actual gameplay, my gaming monitor, and it looks like really hella dope, and like yeah, like there's like a lot of fire and like environmental lighting that just worked beautifully, and I'm like, damn, this game looks AAA as fuck just from the sheer look of it. And it actually kind of it there's something about the feeling that's wrong. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like there's a fluidity to it that sort of reminds me of like Doom, and it reminds me of BPM, like a certain like when it's strafing and stuff like that. But it's just something about it is just off. Like it's like at 90% there, but that little extra 10% where like the mechanics don't you know, feels smooth. It feels like a little clunky. It feels a little like I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint that je ne sais quoi, of that missing element
Yeah.
that makes
It
it.
misses the it factor,
Yeah,
right? That's another way to put it. Yeah.
yeah. So, so I'm sorry if you guys were hyped for it, but I'm gonna give you guys a quick consolation prize. Number one, it's only 3 hours long, so if you do buy the game, it's not gonna waste your time. It's only $20, so it's a good value proposition. Also, if you have Bright Memory, like already like installed on PC, on Steam, or whatever, just the game Bright Memory prior to the launch of the game, you get it for free. You get the upgrade for free. So, uh, and I know I saw when I was previewing it, when I was reviewing it, I saw that Bright Memory, the original game, was on sale on Steam for $10. So it's like if you'd have, snagged it before, you could have gotten it for free for $10 essentially instead of 20. So yeah, that's that for that. Any other questions or any other comments that you wanted to throw down?
No, I'm actually just curious. What's this other thing that you want to talk about? I
Okay, so
never
so
heard of
I
that.
decided to I'm gonna give impressions on some controllers for the Switch. I didn't actually play anything new other than Bright Memories, so I decided to show you guys these Switch Joy Cons that I got. They're third party.
Oh, are those the ones you sent me the link for before?
Yes, on a YouTube video.
Dang,
Yes,
those look good.
I know, right? They do. And look at this. When you turn it on, they also light up, and I can
Ooh.
program the lights to be. I decided to go with the red and blue accent, kind of like the Joy Cons. But
Yeah.
like you can do any other colors. You can even make it cycle and like between colors and all that stuff.
For
And yeah,
those listening on audio feeds, Lewis is showing these thick ass, like longer Joy-Con controllers that plug into the Switch that have a traditional Nintendo D-pad on the left side. They have like a glow around the joysticks that can be customized in different colors. Lewis has them in red and blue, like he was just talking about.
yeah,
Um, Dang, those look so comfy. The shape is also more in line with the
ergonomic.
traditional. Yeah, like they're more ergonomic. They look more like a traditional Xbox controller shape or something like that.
Yeah, they're not flat. You can see it's got like a good grip, and yeah, these are like really like I don't know, they're really beefy. And I actually brought some Joy Cons for comparison, and you can see like how much like
Oh wow.
thinner like this
Are the
this
sticks bigger?
the they're about well they're on the rail, but they're a little taller, but they
Hmm.
slide on the rail just perfectly fine. And yeah, like they are it's very comfortable. It was really weird at first because I got so used to playing in handheld mode with regular
Hmm.
Joy Cons, and then holding these for the first time felt alien and foreign to me. The sticks are like actual real size like sticks that don't they're not gonna drift. I don't expect them to drift. So that's the reason why I bought it. And I was playing a lot of Smash Ultimate with it, and so I was just wanted to give a couple of notes. Number one, the I don't know if it's me, but I think I was like I was getting a lot of misinputs from the sticks when it came to certain directional stuff. And I know my Smash. I can even play Smash on a Pro controller, on an actual real first party Pro controller. So I think I just have to sort of get used to it and sort of break it in. So I don't really have much to like say, oh, these sticks are trash. It's just more of like a word of warning. Maybe these sticks aren't as accurate as I thought, but I sort of haven't been getting those misinputs after like day one. The second thing I wanted to say is these can be used as a pro controller. You can slide it out, and it comes with like a middle part that you can
Hmm.
use as an actual pro controller. However, I noticed that I might have a defective one, but for my left Joy-Con, the left one can't retain a signal on the Switch when it's
Oh, that's
docked.
odd.
So it has to have a line of sight directly to the Switch for it to work. And because I have my
Hmm.
Switch behind my TV on my setup, it loses connection the moment I round the corner. And so as soon as I like make it so I turn the corner and I can make it have a direct line of sight, then it connects. But then as soon as I turn away and then the TV's blocking the view, it disconnects. And I'm like, damn it. So I can't even use it as
That
a pro
sucks.
controller.
Yeah.
The right Joy-Con doesn't seem to have that problem, but I was hoping that these antennas would be bigger and they would be better. But either way, if I were to change my setup where the dock is in front of the TV, then it could work in theory. But I'm not going to go out of my way to try that out. In the meantime, I'm just going to basically use this as like these hoary pads where like they just stay attached to it, which is really all I wanted them for, anyways. So yeah, I just wanted
How
to give a
much was it?
quick review for
How
these
much was it, by
things.
the way?
They were $50.
Oh, dang, that's cheaper than the fucking Nintendo Joy-Cons. The Nintendo Joy-Cons are like $80.
It's cheaper than the Pro controller. The Pro controller was 70,
Yeah.
60 on sale.
Yeah.
And Amazon gave me a $5 off coupon like immediately at checkout, so it was actually $45. So
Dang.
yeah, I
That's
don't.
really worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it's worth it for the price. Yeah, I think if you're all about playing in handheld mode, Joy Cons will give you drift because of use. They just wears out. Period. Hopefully these don't. If it does, I'll report back to you, but I'm not expecting it to be. So yeah, uh, I'll just put on an affiliate link in Amazon in the description. I'm just kidding. I don't have. We don't. We're not that badass. That would be cool if I had an affiliate link, though.
Usually, actually, Lewis, those things are not a big deal at all to get. Like, at least they didn't used to be. You could just like go and create an account, and then you can get the affiliate links.
Damn.
Because you don't make any money from it unless somebody actually uses them. So it's not they're not that there's no gatekeeping for you using them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, that's. I just wanted to give you my impressions on it. I was playing a lot of Smash Ultimate. I played Smash Ultimate for the 24-hour stream. I kicked everyone's ass. I was totally whooping everyone's ass. So I just wanted to flex on you guys. All right. But anyways, that being said, I guess we'll go ahead and kick it off to the actual topics of the discussion. And there we are. For some odd reason, I couldn't read anymore. But anyways, so the topics of discussion today, Dan, it is November, and
Yes.
out of 11 months in the year, we never did a Game of the Year watch. And so as we are getting close to Game of the Year talks, here at the end of the year, and all the big major releases are happening now or, rolling out. So let's go ahead and do a little preview.
I would assume a lot of outlets are already voting for Game of the Year, by the way, because the Game Awards are December 8th, if I'm not mistaken, which means that we're probably going to know the nominees by the end of this month. And if we're going to know the nominees by the end of this month, then they're probably already voting. A lot of games are already out. There's still a few games coming out, but we know Halo Infinite is most likely not going to be eligible. Other than, there are other awards that happen in January and February and March, but we're talking about the ones that actually happen in December, such as the Game Awards. So we'll probably won't see Halo Infinite there. If there's anything else big that's coming out, I can't remember right now between now and then those might not be eligible either, or between now and the end of the year. So I think we can kind of take a good look at everything that's come out this year and almost try to make some predictions of what we think we're going to see.
Let me ask you this. My first question is the Game of the Year already out right now, do you think?
Probably, because what are the games like? Are we waiting for anything? I can't think off the top of my head like of any big game that's still to come out other than Halo Infinite.
Let's see here. I'm looking at the releases here. We got Pokemon. Okay, that's not Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond. That's not going to be, huh? Actually, I'm looking at it. None of these things are like raising the needle for me. There's Battlefield 2042 and November 19th. That's about it. But that's Game of the Year contender, probably not. But yeah, everything else I see here are ports. So like KOTOR, Elder Scrolls. These are all ports and stuff. So it's really weird. I would have expected like the Friday before Black Friday is usually like Nintendo's big first party push. For which I guess it is Pokemon. Actually, it is Shining Pearl, all that stuff.
So this is a very interesting year, especially as we approach this fall season and this end of the year. I feel like there's a lot of things that were supposed to come out this year that got delayed.
Yeah.
And because of that, we're getting to a holiday season or a fall/holiday season without any major first-party PlayStation releases, without a lot of major first-party Nintendo releases, only one being Pokemon. And we are getting the major first-party releases from Xbox in Forza Horizon 5 and then Halo Infinite, which is December, which makes it most likely not eligible for Game of the Year awards. It will still be. I'm pretty sure it will. If the game is good and deserving, it will show up at things like the GDC awards next year and DICE and all their other stuff. Before the Game Awards in December, it probably won't be there, or we know it won't be there, basically. So the Game of the Year must already be out.
Okay.
So I think we can have a fun exercise trying to figure that out. But I think this is one of the toughest years to call. It's kind of like, if anything, it's kind of like 2019 when Control won a bunch of awards, and it was like Control or Death Stranding or a few others. But it was also a weird year to call as well.
Yeah, like why can't there just be like an obvious front runner like Breath of the Wild or something like that where everyone knows?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Or God of War, right?
Or God of War, yeah.
It was like God of War or maybe Red Dead, but it was like those two were clear front runners. But yeah, let's look at this year. So I suggested that we go through the Metacritic list ordered by score, and we see the games that got the highest scores this year. And granted, so many of those are
Ports.
remakes, remasters, ports, etc. So we kind of gotta skip all of that as well because we're not going to see, we're not going to see Hades showing up again, right? We already
Yeah.
saw that last year.
So Xbox is
Okay.
leading the charge. We got Forza and Psychonauts are like the highest rated new games in 2021 that I'm seeing here. Unless,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
No,
pretty
you're right.
okay.
Those are the first two to show up here. So, I asked this to you last week, Louis. I'm going to ask you again with a little bit of more context now that we're seeing these other games. Do you think Forza Horizon 5 has a shot at getting a nomination for Game of the Year? I'm not saying it's going to win, but it's
A
getting a
nomination.
nomination.
So having seen how small this my short list is, yes, basically on
Mm-hmm.
the sense that if this was a 2018 kind of year where like everyone's a front runner, then no. But
Mm-hmm.
just from the lack of competition, yes, which is kind of a fucked up thing to
Right.
say. It almost kind of like diminishes it, but let's be real here. Come on.
And I think we're definitely going to see the Psychonauts 2 as well get nominations because Psychonauts 2, it is like Psychonauts, the original was this cult hit. And then 2 comes out, and I think that it did get a really good critical reception. And I did see a lot of people talk about it in my feeds around the time that it came out. A lot of people seem to be very endeared with it. In fact, and obviously, I don't want to turn this into console wars territory or whatever. But I feel like there are two games that are kind of comparable that came out around the same time, which were Ratchet and Clank on, from PlayStation and Psychonauts 2 from Xbox, or from Double Fine more specifically, and it's also available on PlayStation. And I saw a lot of people that played both say that they liked Psychonauts 2 better than Ratchet and Clank. It's like similar type of like 3D, platformer, but that was doing more unique and interesting things with its gameplay and its story, while Ratchet and Clank was kind of felt to a lot of people like just like another Ratchet and Clank game.
Hmm.
Or at least that's a take that I saw a lot in my feeds. Granted, if somebody has a more PlayStation centric feeds, they might see the opposite.
All right.
Um,
So that's interesting. I mean, first off, I think for like the Jeff Keighley Game of the Year awards, I think he maxes out at 5 nominees, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they've
I,
ever done
I think
6.
6.
Not sure, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
let's see here. I'm gonna go to GameAwards.com and find out here.
Yeah, let's look at Game Awards for 2020. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna throw out there that the next game on this list from Metacritic, that is a new game, is actually a game called Chicory: A Colorful Tale. And this is an indie game. It's an indie darling that came out this year. And I know that the music for it was composed by Lena Raine, who is the same composer for the game Celeste. This seems like a very unique, cool little indie game. I think we're definitely going to see it getting nominations for the indie awards, like best indie game, or even art direction. The art direction of the game is really good as well. Maybe music and something like that. But it didn't seem to have enough impact to get a nomination for Game of the Year in my book. But I could be wrong. That could be a surprise as well. I feel like every once in a while, one of those games comes out and gets a bunch of nominations, and we only hear about them then.
Okay. All right. Well, the other one I see here on the list is It Takes Two.
Yeah.
I would say that's going to be on my short list. However, with given that it released back in March, recency bias is going to screw that game over, in my opinion. But I don't know. I think it might have felt like a smaller game, anyways. I'm not even sure if it would have actually had a chance when it came out. Say it were to come out here in October or November. I don't know.
The thing that's interesting is like when we think about all these 3D platformers, which is suddenly, a genre that's coming back. We got Psychonauts 2, we got It Takes Two, and we got Ratchet and Clank. What I think we're going to see is I think we're going to see only one of those show up. Like, let's say if we have 5 nominations for the Game Awards, we're going to see one of those 3 get one of the 5 nominations, because we seem to typically have kind of like representation on different genres of games, right? So especially if Forza 5 can get, that racing slash sim representation there, then I think we'll get something in between Psychonauts or Ratchet and Clank or It Takes Two as like a platformer, basically taking the Mario spot since we didn't have a new Mario this year. And then we're gonna get to it soon, but then Deathloop is probably gonna come up there as well as the AAA shooter experience.
Yes.
Which in another year could have been Doom or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
It Takes Two, man, such a good game.
I found it. It had 6 nominees for Game of the Year last year. So
Okay,
uh,
okay,
we have so far our list that we've been talking about, even like the ones that we tangentially mentioned. I already have 5 games listed here. So we'll keep it
okay.
going.
Are you writing them down or just in
Yes,
your head?
I'm writing them down.
Okay,
So
cool.
let's see. I'm scrolling down here, and the next one I see is Deathloop.
Yeah.
Unless I skipped one. Let me know if I skipped one.
Not that I've seen. I think there's a lot of releases. Maybe Synth Riders might be a new game, but that's also a VR game. So I think that's unlikely for us to see show up there.
So yeah,
Um,
Deathloop
ev-
and Ratchet and Clank have an 88 apiece. So
yeah, yeah.
warranted.
I think both are strong contenders there as well.
So
Um,
I'm surprised Deathloop didn't hit the nines, like hit a 90, because whenever the marketing push was happening, it was like all the outlets were giving nines and tens. I didn't see any. They didn't. I didn't see any outlets giving like sevens or eights or whatever. So
the interesting thing with Deathloop, and I just pulled it up, is that it actually has a fairly low user score compared to what the Metacritic is. It has a 6.4 as the user score. So I wonder if it's just a slightly more divisive game than we were led to believe, despite the fact that on the critic side, we got 98 positive reviews and 9 mixed reviews and no negative review.
if only
Um,
Level One Gaming was part of Metacritic, because I gave it a 9. So
and
um,
maybe your it's funny, it's true, like maybe your score would have pushed it up to
to
like an
90
89
or
or
yeah.
90 or something, right? I find it hard to believe that just one score, especially from an outlet that's not as big as like IGN or something, would push it more than 1 point. But still, like if that could be enough for you to put it to like an 89, it would already bring it ahead of a lot of the other games on this list.
True. Plus,
Um,
not to mention, I thought they were all like equal. Like I thought it was like an average between everyone. So, eh.
yeah,
Anyways.
it's not though. It's not there. It's a weighted average where
Oh,
the weight is based on the size of the outlet. Yeah, and it's
wow.
something that Metacritic has actually gotten a lot of flack for in the past because they do not disclose the weights.
Yeah, those bastards.
Yeah.
Huh.
So each website on Metacritic has a weight associated with their reviews that is not disclosed. At least that's the last I
That
heard.
means like
Maybe
IGN must be
something
able to
changed.
throw their weight around easily when it comes to Metacritic.
Yeah, yeah, like IGN, GameSpot, maybe Kotaku or whatever, but they don't do traditional reviews anymore. But those outlets they can sway the Metacritic a lot more than some of the smaller outlets that are reviewing the game. But next one would be Metroid Dread.
Yes. I didn't
Um,
know that it tied with Deathloop. By the way, so seeing
yeah,
that one, let me even go over here. Like, what is the actual likelihood that we're going to actually see Metroid? Because it doesn't feel like, other than Breath of the Wild and Odyssey, like other than that year, it doesn't feel
mhm.
like Nintendo ever really gets like actual Game of the Year love. You know what I
I will
mean?
tell you this. No, I think you're wrong. I think I almost look at it the other way, where it's almost like there's typically a placeholder Nintendo spot, like that. Like think about it,
Animal
like
Crossing
Skyward
last year.
Sword. Yeah, like exactly, like Animal Crossing, Skyward Sword when it came out, that had a Game of the Year nomination in the Game Awards. I remember that pretty well. I feel like even Super Mario 3D World, which might
What?
have not set the world by storm, I'm pretty sure had a nomination. There's usually one Nintendo nomination every year.
I would
It will
not have
be
put
like
3D World on nomination on for Game of the Year, but whatever.
um I think in 2019 a lot of people wanted to see Fire Emblem Three Houses get a nomination, but I think it was snubbed. I don't remember what else was out there. I don't know if Mario Maker or any of the other games did, but I think it's pretty common that we see a Nintendo game there. I just don't know if Metroid is the franchise to do it because Metroid has like it
It's
is
too
not.
niche.
Yeah, it's a little too neat niche. It doesn't sell as much as the other ones. I don't think it's played as much as the other ones. So um this year I would be surprised to see it. Um
Well, you wouldn't be
if
surprised if it was on there. Let's just be real here.
yeah, it's one of yeah, I guess that's a good point. Honestly, it's like I wouldn't
You
be
wouldn't
surprised
put
one
it
way
on
or
there
another.
personally, but you wouldn't be surprised if it's there. If you're if your conspiracy theory, which I like to buy conspiracy theories, but this one I'm not so sure. But if your conspiracy theory is true about a Nintendo placeholder, this has to be it.
I mean, it's not always the case, but
Yeah.
I just mean that it's typically the case. I even want to pull up like like if I can see a list right now, so that
Here,
I can see if I
let me pull up
make
the
sure that I'm not just like totally
let
out
me
of
pull up the
my.
2019 Game of the Year awards. So for 2019, Smash Ultimate was the nominee for 2019. For 2018, obviously they won because no, wait, no, they did not win. For 2018, Nintendo did not have a nomination that year. So
Okay.
the closest thing they had to a nomination, actually, no, they didn't even have it. No, they didn't. So
Okay, I have a list with all the years here since it became the Game Awards in 2014. Okay.
okay,
So I was wrong. I'm going to start with that. So in 2014, no Nintendo. I'm pretty sure this is the year where, um, like, uh, Super Mario 3D World would be there. So I was wrong about that. 2015, Super Mario Maker. So that was the Nintendo game that year. Uh, 2016, no Nintendo.
and only 5
2017,
nominations.
yeah. 2017, we got two Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. 2018, no Nintendo. 2019, Smash Ultimate. But Fire Emblem should have been there too. And then 2020, Animal Crossing. So out of 7 years, we had
3?
Nintendo nominees in 4.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
3
but
of
if
them
you
they
count
missed.
the if you count the nominees too, like we got Mario Maker, then Mario Odyssey and Zelda, then Smash
Smash,
Ultimate,
Animal
and
Crossing.
then Animal Crossing.
So
So
5.
yeah, out of 5 Nintendo. So yeah, like if there's a big Nintendo game, it has a good shot at getting a Game of the Year nod. But I just don't know if Metroid Dread is big enough for that.
All right.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah,
We'll put that. I'm gonna put that on my short list here. Monster Hunter Rise. Is that even? I know that that was
yeah.
like a big thing at the time when it was a big marketing push, but is that
It
even
was
gonna be a consideration?
it was beloved, but I don't think we'll see it because Monster Hunter World, like Monster Hunter World was, a badass HD Monster Hunter game that seemed to reinvigorate the franchise and was available in multiple platforms and stuff. And
PS4.
people really rallied behind that one. Versus this one is like the Switch version. It's a different game. I'm not suggesting that it's the same game, but it's like a Switch version of the Monster Hunter franchise that seemed to be played a lot and enjoyed by Switch fans, but I didn't really see it have the same impact as Monster Hunter World, which was the one that got the Game of the Year nomination before. So I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna guess we won't see it. It's also old by now. It's
Hmm.
also from March, just like It Takes Two, like we said. Um,
Scrolling down the
now
list, I just see for some reason why did I think Crash Bandicoot 4 came out last year? But
no, that game's older.
oh, it did come out last year because it might have been PS4. This is a PS5 release. Never mind.
Yes.
Also, the next one I would see is Returnal.
No, you skipped a bunch of stuff actually.
Okay.
So, all right. So number 34, Death's Door. That is a new indie game that released this year, initially
Oh
exclusive to
yeah.
Xbox, later came out on PS4.
Is this year's
Uh,
Hades, right?
Basically, I would probably put it that way. So I think that is a strong contender for showing up as well. And then Hitman 3 also came out this year, but it came out in January. So it's just a little old now. I would be surprised if we saw it, but I wouldn't throw it out of the race as well. And then later, number 46, Tales of Arise.
Oh yeah.
That was also a new game. That was also the best-selling game in the
Tales. Yeah.
franchise. I think the franchise is still too niche for us to see this. I feel like this is this year's Fire Emblem where we won't see it, but then the fans will be upset and wish that we did. Um, and then then after that, then I'm guessing now it
We get to
might be
Returnal.
Returnal. Yeah, just number 68. Lots of re-releases and remasters at this point.
Yeah. Also, like Returnal, I don't even know if it really truly did move the needle because when it came to like Returnal, like I don't remember it making a splash like at all, even with
No.
the big marketing push. So, yeah. So, oh yeah, and one last one. I'm gonna throw this as a dark horse. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I
Mm-hmm.
watched Fame play it during the 24-hour live stream, and I am now have this game on my radar. I know it reviewed pretty well. I remember the IGN review was pretty good on it, and now like having seen it firsthand, I'm just like foaming at the mouth, ready for it to like go on like Black Friday sale, so I can buy it on super cheap and stuff. So yeah. So with all that said, here, what's up?
I'm gonna I'm gonna bring a few more that I saw here on the top 100. Resident Evil Village, I
Okay.
think, needs to be in consideration as well. And then also a dark horse, but I'm only gonna bring this up because this game seems to be blowing up a little bit amongst the critical public over the last week or so, which is this game called Inscription. It is a PC game. It just came out. And I'm starting to see in my feed people be like, dude, Inscription is the game of the year. You got to play this game or whatever. It's one of those that comes out of nowhere and just kind of grabs everybody's attention.
We never
Despite the
even
fact that,
read this on the new releases. I don't think
yes, yes.
we did or
But
don't know. Oh,
trust me when I say this is the Doki Doki of this year.
hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what that game is about to this day, but I just know the
It's the game
people
that
who
people
played
talk
it.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, the people who played it love it, and I'm just starting to see this. I was scrolling through Twitter today, and I was seeing people talk about it. This Inscription game, there's something about it.
All right.
Now, I do want to bring up, Lewis,
What's up?
that the games that get Game of the Year nominations are not always the best reviewed games of the year,
Oh,
because you often see. I just thought this would be a good way for us to get to a list, but you often see games sometimes that get sevens go out and get a Game of the Year nomination anyway if they made enough of a splash, right? So, as a good example of that, the Assassin's Creed games, a lot of the Assassin's Creed games that have gotten nominations in the past, they did not necessarily have an 85 plus Metacritic. But the people that do love them really love them and would nominate them to Game of the Year. So I wouldn't be surprised, is my point, that we saw some other game that we didn't talk about show up as well. Because despite the fact that maybe it has a Metacritic of 75 or 78, that it has enough fans that love it. So right now I'm just kind of scrolling through the other pages to see if I find anything that jumps out to me as a possibility for that. Nothing so far, but just wanted to throw that out there.
okay.
Like Far Cry 6 is a good example, actually.
Yeah, but it's not going to
Um,
get nominated. I don't think.
that has an 80 on Metacritic, right? And then Mario Party has a 79. Yeah, that one is unlikely.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes we see games like that pop up.
So
Cool.
with that being said, I got a short list here that I've been keeping
All right.
tabs of. So we basically outed out 14 games in total.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and make our own sets here. A set of 6. Some game of the years, I looked at the previous ones. Some of them have 5. Some of them have 6. So we'll go ahead and pick 6 for purposes of our prediction game. But
Okay.
the short list that I made is Forza Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2, It Takes Two, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Monster Hunter Rise, Death's Door, Hitman 3, Tales of Arise, Returnal, Guardians of the Galaxy, Resident Evil Village, and Inscription. All right.
Dang.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go first
Okay.
here. I'm going to go with Forza. I'm going to go Psychonauts. And I will go Deathloop and Metroid and Guardians, and finally rounding it out, Resident Evil.
How many did you just
6.
say?
6.
6?
Forza, Psychonauts, Deathloop, Metroid, Guardians, Resident Evil.
All right, give me the full list again.
All right, full list. Forza, Psychonauts, It Takes Two, Ratchet and Clank, Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Monster Hunter Rise, Death's Door, Hitman 3, Tales of Arise, Returnal, Guardians of the Galaxy, Resident Evil Village, Inscription.
Okay, I have my list.
All right.
So my list has Resident Evil Village,
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank, Psychonauts 2, Deathloop,
That's 5.
and It Takes Two.
All right. So it seems like our
I just contradicted myself, by the way. I put the 3 platformers in the list.
it seems like our lists are exactly the same except for It Takes Two and Metroid. Those are our
Yeah.
wait,
Well, I also I
Forza.
ended up not putting Forza and putting in Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, Forza. So yeah, those are the our two differences. All right. Well, I'll
So
keep tabs on this one. I'll see who when the nominees come out, who wins the prediction game on this one.
yeah, quick, just one more thing though, Lewis. Who do you think wins? Who do you
Oh,
think is the what do you think is the game of the year this year?
um, you know what? I'm not even really like feeling any of these, even from a marketing perspective.
Yeah,
But
me neither.
if I were to say play it safe, I'm gonna go with Deathloop. Just as
Okay,
like I feel like that one's the safest out of my nominees.
I'm gonna go a little wild card, and I'm gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
I wouldn't flinch. I would actually applaud if that were to be the case.
Um, you know, recency bias. I think that this game is gonna have the effect of almost like a little bit of a slow burn, where
People are gonna
um,
discover it
yeah, like it came
during
out.
voting.
Like I feel like there was some buzz, but the buzz was not huge. It came out, and now people keep talking. Oh yeah, it's actually pretty great. Like, oh, who would have thought this game is actually excellent? People are gonna start playing it, and then they're gonna be playing it as they're voting. And I think that game is gonna stand. And it's also like there's something about that game when compared to some of the other games in this list, even in our long list, which is it's a game that's supposed to appeal to everybody or to like a wider audience, right? Like Forza niche, like these indie games niche.
Deathloop kind of niche, yeah.
The Deathloop is a little niche. It's like I feel like that one kind of lives in between mainstream and niche. Like Returnal, very niche actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, this big AAA third person action adventure game with Marvel characters, apparently really good, available in a lot of different platforms. I feel like it's got this potential.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. I wouldn't be mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, here we actually went on pretty long on this topic here.
Ah,
So,
that's fine.
I'm gonna go ahead and keep it pushing here. And next up is going to be what do you think Nintendo's future with their hardware plans are looking like? So I got this. We got this article here from VGC saying that Nintendo is still they're still working on the concept and the launch timing for the next console. Significant details seem to yet to be finalized. So we just know from this handy dandy little presentation from the investors where they put like a little slide out is that the integrated hardware software next gaming system is going to be released in the year 20XX.
You know what that
Nice.
means, right?
Yeah, Mega Man.
That means that it's before 2100. You know, we
Damn.
know that for sure.
Yeah, we know that for sure. Yeah, before 2099, it's going to release. Which
Yeah,
didn't they do the exact same thing with the Switch with
they did.
20XX?
They did.
Those bastards.
Which I think it would be an interesting thing to look back at when we saw the 20XX and the NX name for the first time versus when the Switch actually came out, because I think it was about like 2 or 3 years. So maybe that would allow us to actually start stipulating, when this. Although we don't really have anything to go off of. Louis, what do you think? Like, what do you think? They clearly must be thinking already and planning and R&Ding what the next step is going to be for them. But I want to hear from you. Like, what do you think that is?
Honestly, like if I was running this shit, I would basically say we're making a Nintendo Switch 2.
Right.
Basically build me a Valve Steam Deck and brand it with Nintendo. That's basically what I would do. Is like I want it to be next gen. I want it to have like badass processing capabilities. I want it to be backwards compatible and give me more storage. and maybe do a loss lead thing. If you're gonna go with the $300 price point or even $350 price point, we know with the Steam Deck it's so expensive, as it is. So I don't know, like make a $600 machine, but price it at 350. And I know Nintendo has historically never done that, like almost never. I think the closest one was I think that might have been the Wii U was the only
Right.
console that they sold at a loss from launch. But honestly, like you're sort of pigeonholing yourself with that with the family market. You want to be like affordable and consumer friendly and stuff as far as pricing goes. I think you have to stick with the price, but you also need to be enticing. You need to be competitive. You need to be able to output graphics capable next to a PS4, which is old gen now. I think that
Hmm.
if you don't even meet that bar, you're gonna have a hard time getting third parties to work with you, and you're gonna be forced to do all these like Guardians of the Galaxy, cloud releases. Nobody in Switch likes cloud releases, so that's my strategy on that one. What do you think?
It's interesting. Nintendo has a very specific way of doing things, and they're also not necessarily the most consistent. But there are a few things that Nintendo tends to do, and they take us by storm and they surprise us, which is that they like to change directions, right? And they like to try new things, and like they're going one way, and then it's like, oh, what if like here's the next crazy idea? Like glasses free 3D on the 3DS, or motion controls on the Wii, or the tablet on the Wii U, and the whole asynchronous gaming experience to a hybrid system with the Switch. So I think what I think about is like, while we all may expect Nintendo to just kind of continue the course and just stick with the Switch and improve on it, and I'm sure we would all be happy with that to some extent, doesn't it make more sense? Isn't it more consistent with Nintendo for them to think of something completely different and kind of surprise us again? Maybe not now, not in a year or two, but maybe in a few years. And if so, like, how could they surprise us? Like, what is the next? Like, when Nintendo released the Wii, they must have imagined at that point that the future of games was motion control,
I'm not
right?
entirely
It
sure.
was
Like,
like,
I get that. I get what you're
this
saying, and
hyper
I
real.
get that Nintendo likes to do what they call a blue ocean strategy, where it's like a blue ocean means that it's like it's right. It's a market that's no one's in. It's ripe for the taking. Basically, you can go in first and dominate.
Mhm.
I think they're all about new concepts and gamings, and I get that they're always wanted to push innovation. With like the Wii U, with you know a tablet, console gaming, Switch, hybrid things and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I think I lack imagination, and I don't even know what you can do in the video game market to innovate and create a new way to play. A new way to play. I think that's almost
Right.
like a hindrance to yourself because now you're expected to find a new way to play. You're expected to make a new controller every time, and I don't even know if you want to do that. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that's the right call, by the way. I'm just saying that that seems to be what Nintendo does. So like, and they're trying that with kind of other branches of their company, like doing things like the Mario Kart carts that run around your house and stuff, and like
Labo.
what yeah, or like Nintendo Labo. Like, what if maybe the next system is some kind of like upgradable modular system that you can buy pieces and build yourself and turn into
Nah.
something else? Or what if it's something where the new controller is like a pair of gloves that you put on and you're controlling things, or maybe some AR crazy thing or whatever? Like, and I'm only bringing this up because I feel like you know, like I don't know what Nintendo is gonna do. Like you can never tell, but it's very unlikely, like based on their track record, that they would just go, "Oh yeah, the next one is just a more powerful Switch." It's actually more likely that they would invent some kind of controller never thought of before than that they would do that
Yeah.
based on their track record.
Yes.
So I'm just kind of like, I don't know what that is, but I just think it's kind of interesting to speculate. But as far as what I want, yeah, I would be happy with just a better Switch. Keep improving on it. I'm okay with the Switch being the new DS. I want it running for over 10 years. I want to see 20 different revisions of it, different colors and styles and sizes. And
Let me ask you
um,
this:
yeah,
do you think that it, that Nintendo would want to unmerge handheld and console because they converge with the Switch, but are they going to
yeah.
diverge and we're going to make a home console and make the Switch successor a Lite 3 or whatever.
On one side, I think they would probably want to do that so that they're able to um have people own multiple consoles again. Right? Like in the past, I'm sure that there were a lot of Nintendo customers that owned a Wii at home and then also a DS or multiple DSs. If when you think of a household, a household would have a Wii and then possibly multiple DSs. And I think they probably want to go back to that at some point. I think it will be more profitable for them, especially if all of those branches are successful. And if they're not all successful, then at least if one is not, then the other one might be, and so you can kind of compensate that way.
Do you think
But on the
Nintendo's
other,
a little scared that all their eggs are in one basket?
possibly.
Hmm.
But then on the other end, they also I don't think they can take away the hybrid thing now because they've given this to us. We've grown to accept it and expect it and enjoy it. So I could see a future where we have, a home console version of Nintendo that is home only and a portable only, which we already have, by the way, with the Switch Lite. And then continuing to have like a middle portion which works as both. So almost like we have three products. Like we
Hmm.
have the, Nintendo portable, Nintendo console, Nintendo hybrid, and there are three branches that are each getting updates and revisions and sequels every few years and stuff like that. But then once again, we never know what Nintendo's going to do. So
The last bit of Nintendo news here on the doc here is from VGC. I'll just read to you guys the headline. It says that Nintendo plans to make more movies based on its games, but they will go one by one. Miyamoto says that the Mario movie is pretty much done, and Nintendo is very positive about it. So of course they are. Why aren't they? Why wouldn't they say that?
there's also been rumors that they're already working on a Donkey Kong movie, by the
Oh
way,
yeah.
where Seth Rogen, who plays Donkey Kong in the Mario movie, will also play Donkey Kong in this Donkey Kong movie. Do you think there's a possibility for a cinematic universe of Nintendo characters, Liz?
Oh my god. You know what? I just don't tease me like that, man. Like, I wouldn't like honestly. I would love a Super Smash Brothers game. Like,
Movie.
I want a. Sorry, I want to run a Super Smash Brothers movie. Yeah, where like we're gonna have like a Nick Fury scene at the end of the Mario game and says, "I want to talk to you about the Smash Brothers initiative." Like I
Yeah,
also
it's not gonna be like that.
you know, I want like some kind of like I don't know, like who would be Nick Fury? Like I don't even know. I think is
Well,
like
Solid Snake.
Solid Snake. Oh, Solid Snake's gonna show up and be like with the eye patch. Ah,
As much as I would love that too, and I would love to live in that ridiculous version of horror reality, I don't think that would ever happen. I think Nintendo, they're way too careful with the way they handle their IP now, even though they're become more open to using their IP in different ways than they were in the past and actually pursuing movies and everything else, theme parks and etc. again. I don't think they would do that. I think that, what I could see is that we have an animated Mario movie and then in a few years an animated Donkey Kong movie and they tie in like they're in the same universe. But I don't think, for instance, they would cross that over with something like Fire Emblem. You know what I mean? Like,
ah,
I feel like
yeah.
that level of a crossover that we get to see in Smash Brothers, I feel like that is specific to Smash Brothers. I don't think that's something that they're willing to do in a lot of other avenues of their
I
business,
just need a
unfortunately.
subspace emissary style like crossover. Like I need that.
I know,
Now I
I
really want
know.
that. I already wanted it when they came to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie and Detective
Yep,
Pikachu.
yep, yep, yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think it's kind of standard where like Nintendo or executives like higher ups, watch like the dailies or they watch like a rough cut, like an assembly cut of a movie, and they're already like sort of cherry picking. Okay, this character is going to be the one that breaks out. This character is going to be popular with the fans, so let's go ahead and just preemptively green light a spin off for them. So I'm guessing Seth Rogen must be
Right.
killing it, and everyone knows that the audiences are going to like fall in love with him and basically want more, and so they'll be able to do a tighter turnaround, like maybe a 1 year or 1.5 year turnaround for the Donkey Kong movie that we want, that they know that we're going to want. So yeah. Anyways, next up, those bastards. Another headline here. Multiple Metal Gear Solid games are temporarily removed from sale. So Konami has announced that they are temporarily removing sale of multiple versions of Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 on digital stores. The temporary removal of the game is due to Konami needing to renew the license for historical archive footage that was used in the games. So, quote, we are currently working on renewing the licenses for the select historical archive footage used in game. Therefore, we have made the temporary decision to suspend the sale of MGS2 and MGS3 and all products that include these games from digital storefronts globally starting on November 8th, explained on a post in Konami's website. So here's a list of games. So MGS2 removed from the PS3 and PS Vita, MGS3 on PS3 and PS Vita, and looks like Metal Gear Solid like 1 on the HD collection. Looks like, yeah, basically they've been removed from the Vita, the PS Now, Xbox 360, Nintendo 3DS. Oh my God, I forgot about the Snake Eater on 3DS, GOG, and Nvidia Shield TV.
So basically, pretty much all the Metal Gear games before 4 are getting removed from the places where you could digitally buy them, which means that these games, which were already a little expensive on the physical secondhand market, are going to be jumping in price for the extent of this. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to put these back. They're specifically saying that it's temporary. It is a little shitty, though, that there was no prior notice to this. I feel like they should have told, like, if they knew this was going to happen in November 8th, they should have been telling the fans about this for months now, because there are a lot of Metal Gear Solid games, a lot of Metal Gear Solid fans out there. It's not a niche franchise. I mean, maybe it is to an extent, but it's a franchise that is beloved by a lot of people, and it's already not super accessible. I mean, you can't really go play those older Metal Gear games on your PS5 right now, except through PlayStation Now. And the fact that they're all
take it off of PlayStation Now,
yeah, makes it so that the only way you can access these games right now is if you have the disc versions and the original hardware to play them on. Now, thankfully, I have the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on the PS3. I believe I own all the games there, as well as Metal Gear 4 on disc, so I could play them on the PS3 if I wanted to. But this is very shitty for the people that were interested in these games. It is specifically shitty that we don't have a good way to play them in current hardware. It is even more shitty that they're doing this. It is even more shitty that they didn't give people proper notice.
This is why physical media is awesome. But that notwithstanding, I just wanted to add my 2 cents to it. You said earlier that they didn't give us warning. They could have told us on November 1st, hey, it's going to be removed on November 8th, that kind of stuff. My only
I wish they told us like months ago.
Yeah, they could have told us. You could have told us on the lead up. But my only counter to that is, like, I want to give them the Konami the benefit of the doubt. I would imagine something like licenses and renewals and stuff like that are commonplace in the games industry, like hella common. And I'm pretty sure that Konami must have thought that they would have been able to make an 11th hour renewal, contract update, and not have to worry about not have to let it be forward facing. In my opinion, like, that's always a possibility where you can even just imagine that just pretty much any game that's older, is gonna have to like go through these hurdles. That's why Scott Pilgrim got removed and stuff like that without notice and stuff like that. So, GTA 4 had to get patched with music out of the game. So, yeah. Anyways, last things here is a bit of a check this out. I got the video playing here on screen. It is Spider-Man is coming to Avengers, Marvel's Avengers on PlayStation consoles, like for PS4, PS5 owners. Finally, this game has only been out for a year, and it's now finally, the promised PlayStation exclusive character Spider-Man is now here. You can see a trailer, and I gotta lie, I'm not a fan of the voice actor. He just sounds weird. The costume, also a little meh. Like, I was kind of, with what they did with Black Panther and how badass he looked, I was kind of hoping that this would be another, badass design, but this is kind of just meh.
They're suffering from the fact that we can't help but compare this to
Insomniac.
Spider-Man on the Insomniac Spider-Man on the PS4 and PS5, right? So I definitely think it doesn't look that great in comparison. I do think they were trying to give Spider-Man a different look than those games, probably intentionally. Like he looks over here, I feel like he looks a little bit bulkier, like a little bit maybe he's like a little bit older or something, especially compared to what the new redesign was for the PS5. But I wasn't super about this at all. But I'm glad that it's finally happening. It's finally coming, and that one of the most prominent Marvel characters is gonna make it into this game. And I do think that slowly, Marvel's Avengers is putting together this great cast of characters, um, that like the game or not, it is cool that we're gonna get to see all these characters come together in this game in one way or another. Um, if only just to kind of see them all on screen and see them all fighting together and etc. in a third person action game.
Yeah, just gotta say that um, n- not really moving the needle for me as far as like how I don't know. Like I never played. First off, I never even played Marvel's Avengers, even though I have the game and I bought it on
Yeah, we
Black Friday
planned to
sale.
play together and then we never did.
Yeah, I know. I bought it on Black Friday sale last year too. So, but anyways, um, yeah, whatever. I don't care. So fuck it. Let's go ahead and move on. Actually, we got to move on to the extra news here. So there are 12 items on the list. So number one, Bandai Namco is pulling Jump Force, the anime crossover fighter, from digital stores on February 7th, 2022. Those bastards. Just going to throw that out there. Number two, a data mine for Call of Duty Vanguard has suggested that a crossover with Attack on Titan could be coming, as well as Captain America and Indiana Jones. Number three, Sega said it will consider investing nearly $1 billion in its game development capabilities in the next few years, including the potential acquisition of other game companies. Number four, Forza Horizon 5 will soon be the first major game to include an optional sign language interpreter for cutscenes. Number five, a new interview has hinted that Hogwarts Legacy may release in late 2022. Number six, Animal Crossing New Horizons is getting an in game Black Friday with all items sold by Nook Brothers discounted by 30% from November 26th to November 30th. Number seven, Phil Spencer has said Xbox is targeting acquisitions in the casual and social gaming spaces. Number eight, Bethesda Game Studio director Todd Howard has confirmed that Fallout 5 is part of the studio's long term plans, but the next entry in the series remains a long way off. Number 9, Turtle Rock Studios will give Back for Blood a solo offline mode that includes campaign progression and a free update by the end of 2021. Number 10, Riot Games, alongside Choice Provisions, creator of the Bit Trip series, announced a League of Legends rhythm game coming to the Switch and PC on November 16th, with the release on Netflix's mobile game services coming soon. That's a good get for Netflix right there. Number 11, information has leaked about two new Xbox exclusives, Project Midnight from Compulsion Games and Pentiment from Obsidian. And number 12, The Roundup. Xbox exclusive The Gunk is releasing on PC and Xbox December 16th. Rainbow Six Extraction is now slated to release on January 20th, 2022, and cost $40 US. Valve delayed the Steam Deck to February 2022 because of supply shortages. And the Playdate handheld console was delayed to 2022, no date slash window. Those bastards. Dan, what do you want to react to?
Not a lot that speaks to me this time, but I was just listening the Todd Howard note here about how he confirmed Fallout 5 is in the future plans. That actually came out of an interview that he did with Ryan McCaffrey for IGN Unfiltered. It's a pretty short one. It's like 37 minutes, and I was listening to it earlier today. A pretty cool interview. The Ryan is talking to him about the fact that Skyrim just turned 10 years old today, actually, and what the future looks like for Bethesda and where things are going, and also how Todd feels about Skyrim and everything else. And it was a cool listen, so I definitely recommend people to go and check it out. And yeah, he said that basically in an ideal world, they already kind of know what Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 are, and if you could just snap his fingers and have them come out, then that would be great. But that, they take years to develop, so people got to be patient for the games that are to come.
Yeah, they got to release
Yeah.
Starfield first. They have to
Yep.
make Elder Scrolls 6, and that's going to be a bitch, to stay in the oven. And then after they release that, then they got to cook Fallout 5. So
And he also very much confirmed that they focus on one game at a time, that they may have like pre-production going on for other titles, but that, full development, the studio goes all in one game at a time. So yeah, pretty much confirming that these games are far away and that we're not going to see a situation where they split, and can release 2 games a year like Insomniac does.
yeah.
So yeah.
So Jump Force, I know that game never set the world on fire. So I'm not surprised that the game was just, honestly, to tell you the truth, like it's more surprising that they're actually pulling the game out of digital storefronts, just yeeting it off. Like why? Like why? What's the reasoning behind it? Why can't you just have it out and just be something that people
Licenses.
play offline?
Just like the Metal Gear thing, I'm guessing that that would be time for them to starting in February, they would need to renew the licenses for all the anime characters.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know, like there's probably some of those that they have longer deals with or already own or something, but there might be some that are a struggle where it doesn't compensate. But I just hate that stuff, man. I wish there was some kind of like, I don't know what the solution is, but I wish there was some kind of solution to where once a game comes out, it's gonna be out. You know what I mean? Like you can't just get it out of stores like that. But
Yeah, like honestly, like why isn't like a part of the deal whenever a game comes out, like the music license is tied to the release of the game, like interlocked, like GTA
yeah,
4 should have never had a patch where music got removed. It should have just be like, ironclad deal that just sticks to the release and that's it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I
that's
know. I agree with you, but that's a problem for the legal people to kind of figure out. I wish that we had some kind of protection or I don't know, maybe a regulation in
hmm.
some way around it so that it made it so that these things don't happen as often as they do.
And my last thing I wanted to comment on is Phil Spencer wanting to target acquisitions. Like, why do you need to buy a company? Why do you need to buy a company that targets like casual and social gaming spaces? Okay, look, you own Rare. Just give somebody the rights to develop Banjo Kazooie Revival, and you're good. You're gonna get those family audiences. So
I wonder if that means Xbox possibly going for the mobile market more strongly. But I don't know. We'll see because Nintendo is doing that. I know Sony is doing that too. I don't really know if Xbox is really playing
what
much in
if
that
like
space yet.
what if like the Xbox app also has games built into it, like Netflix's gaming app?
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that's it for that here. So with that being said, Dan, I actually got it in pretty good time here, all things considered, considering that first topic. So I get to pass the show over to you, and you get to take us home. And I know you're much more efficient than me. So,
Oh yeah, we'll end early tonight.
all right, here we go.
What are you buying?
So for our new releases, first we're gonna hit up on a bunch of updates that are out or coming soon. First, we got a new app out on the Nintendo Switch. It is the Twitch app, so you can go and download that. And nearly 4 years after the Switch's launch, you can watch Twitch on your Switch. Now you got Twitch, YouTube, and
Hulu.
Hulu, but still no Netflix. So Netflix, get on it. I want to get Crunchyroll on
You
my
know
Twitch
what?
on my Switch as well.
That's it. Like works out. Twitch cross Switch.
Yeah, it's kind of a tongue twister, actually. I kept like getting myself mixed up here. There's also an update out on Among Us right now. It includes new roles for crewmates, achievements, a storefront with cosmetics, and cosmic cubes, which I don't know what that is, but you can go and figure that out. There is a expansion coming to Far Cry 6 called Voz Insanity. It will launch November 16th, which is, a few days after this podcast comes out. It is part of the $40 season pass of post-launch content, which will revisit the psyches of the open world series' most arranged villains. We saw a trailer for this in one of the presentations earlier this year. They're going to do the season pass that's focused on the villains of the other games. So the first one's coming out. And then we learned officially that Naruto, the anime character, is joining Fortnite on November 16th. You excited for that, Lewis?
No, I've never. I mean, I'm gonna get the scan, but I never actually watched Naruto. But I know all
Oh, okay.
about the hand
Oh yeah,
gestures.
the hand
Yeah,
things.
I
Yeah.
know all about that.
Uh, Leah and I actually watched all of the original Naruto, over the last year or two, and then we started Shippuden, but we actually we were you know 30 or 40 episodes into Shippuden or something, and then we kind of dropped it. But we plan to go back to it. It's
Isn't
just that
Shippuden like the Dragon Ball Z to like
yeah,
Dragon
yeah.
Ball?
It's Shippuden is the better one. But
Yeah.
it's just these shows sometimes they can get a little slow, and then you get distracted by other things. So we got to get back to that soon.
Fair enough.
But onto actual new games coming out on November 12th, the date this podcast posts on audio feeds. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is coming out on the Switch. When a grisly murder scene in modern day Tokyo blocks our protagonist's walk home, an unplanned detour leaves him buried and unconscious. He awakens in a new Tokyo, a wasteland ravaged by the apocalypse, now called Dat. But before bloodthirsty demons can claim his life, a savior emerges and they unite to become a mighty being, neither human nor demon, a Nahobino. With newfound power, the protagonist ventures through Daet, an enigmatic realm filled with mythical deities and demonic tyrants in constant conflict for survival. Searching for answers, the protagonist must forge his own path in a battle between light and dark to dictate the fate of the world.
I'm not entirely convinced that you spoke English, but go on.
Yeah. On November 16th next week, then we got Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 coming out on PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. I'm curious who developed that. It's an episodic game, so I wonder if it's kind of like a Telltale-like thing or something. But same day as Surviving the Aftermath coming out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, as well as The Wild at Heart coming out on PS4 only. Then on November 17th, we got something called Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier coming out on iOS and Android. And because I saw Final Fantasy VII in the title, I was curious what this was, and I was surprised, Lewis. Fight to join the ranks of Shinra's elite soldier unit in this high-octane battle royale shooter infused with RPG elements from the Final Fantasy series.
75 players. Jesus.
Choose a combat style such as warrior or sorcerer and eliminate your rivals by any means necessary, be it gun, sword, or magic. Defeat monsters to earn experience points and gil. Call upon fan favorite summons such as Ifrit to fight for you and catch a chocobo to dash and glide across the battlefield. Once again, not sure I spoke English there.
75 players. That's an iOS, Android, Final Fantasy, Fortnite game. So
yeah, it's what it sounds like. So yep, just wanted to read that because I was like, man, that's interesting. Then we got Blood Rain Revamped coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on November 18th, as well as the sequel Blood Rain 2 Revamped. Then we got Epic Chef coming out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Exo 1 coming out on Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. And Undungeon coming out on Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. All of those on November 18th. Lewis, what is your pick of the week?
Let's see. Obviously, pick of the week is gonna. Well, shit. Actually, none of these. I was gonna say Shin Megami Tensei 5, but because that's like the big release. But honestly, I'm not into like JRPGs or.
And
whatever.
even that, it's a fairly niche game as well, especially here in the West.
Yeah.
So yeah, this week does not have a pick of the week for us, but I'm curious about the Sherlock Holmes game. I'm curious what this is.
Yeah, you asked who was the developer, and the developer was Frogwares. I never heard of them.
Yeah, I don't know the developer either.
Yeah, but what's kind of interesting is since I follow like the IGNs of the world, it almost kind of makes it feel like they always try to feels like Shin Megami Tensei is a thing. You know what I mean? Like that I'm missing out on or something like that. So
they're pretty well rated, critically acclaimed video game series, but not really or kind of game that we typically play. But yeah, let's move on to the next segment.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
So we got our Broke Gamers Guide, where we run through the best deals in gaming of the week, usually including free games and Game Pass and other updates. And I am killing time right now and feeling the dead space because I actually forgot to pull up all of these links. So I'm doing it right now, and my computer can be a little slow. But we're going to start, as usual, with the free game of the week in the Epic Game Store. as long as the space is done loading,
All
which is
right,
still
I'll
loading
take care of
over
this.
here. So take it over.
Tiny Tina's Assault on a Dragon Keep. So that's going to be the
Really?
free game of the week between now and the 16th, as well as a Rogue Company Epic Pack. So it's a Rogue Company is a free to play game. You're going to get a some whatever DLC thing, whatever pack that they're going to give, heroes, skins, whatever the hell. You're going to get
I
that as
got
part
the
of it.
Tiny Tina game pulled up here. Smash skeletons, defeat dragons, and battle giant golems in Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderland's one-shot adventure experience that claimed 2013 quest jam-packed with fantasy fun and mountains of magical loot. You know what's interesting? We keep seeing trailers for that Tiny Tina Borderlands spin-off game that's coming out, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And I wonder if this is kind of like the origin of that, if this is the game that spun out on that.
It says, as the subtitle is called, a Wonderland's one-shot adventure. As like the little tiny title underneath the game. Um, what's kind of interesting is I'm actually looking forward more to like the free games of the week next week because not they're gonna give away 3 games next week, and I'm like, damn. So
Dang.
I don't know if you know this, but if you can see it, but I'll just go ahead and say it. Allegedly, next week we're getting Guild of Dungeoneering, Kid Amnesia Exhibition, and Never Alone, which was a PS Plus game that's actually pretty dope. I actually like that game. Never Alone is the one to get next week.
All right, cool. Thanks for the information there, Lewis. Now on to our deals. We got something going on Amazon right now. If you pulled up the link, Lewis, you got to go and select video games on the left column where it says department. But there's a get 3 for the price of 2 sale going on Amazon right now. It includes not just video games, but also books and DVDs and other things. Some of the games they have here, though, are some recent big releases, such as Forza Horizon 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, Call of Duty Vanguard, a few other ones here as well. We got Far Cry 6, Assassin's Creed, NBA. So if you're planning on buying, 3 of those games, or even if you're planning on buying 2, you can buy 2 and then get the third one free. So for instance, you could get Call of Duty Vanguard, Forza Horizon 5, and Guardians of the Galaxy and spend $120 instead of 180. So pretty good deal there. I know that you're already getting Forza Horizon through Game Pass or something like that, so maybe you want to look at something else here, maybe Far Cry 6 or something like that. But still thought this was pretty good to bring up. And similarly, there's a very similar deal going on at GameStop as well. They have a buy 2 get 1 free deal at GameStop, which includes games such as Call of Duty Vanguard, as well as some Nintendo games here. So we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Smash Ultimate, Mario Odyssey, Mario 3D World, Metroid Dread. So meaning if you're planning on buying new, 2021 games, now it's a good time to do it leading up to Black Friday, either on Amazon or GameStop, because you can get these, 3 for the price of 2 deals in both of these stores, and as well as, some general deals as well. Now, next, the deal of the week on the PlayStation Store this week is Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. It is half off, $30 instead of 60. So you might want to go and check that out if you're waiting to buy that game. And then finally, we also got word on what Nintendo is planning to do for Black Friday. So this is not a deal that's available right now, but that will be later. Nintendo's later Black Friday deals were announced on Monday and include a Switch bundle and rare discounts on popular games starting on November 21st. You'll find them online at retailers like Amazon and Best Buy and at local brick and mortar stores. The press release made no mention of availability issues, but you can expect consoles in particular to be hard to find this holiday as they have in years past. The Nintendo Switch bundle available this holiday will include the standard console, so it's not the OLED version, with the one red and blue Joy-Con. It includes a digital download code for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and a 3-month individual membership for Nintendo Switch Online. Suggested retail price is $300, $299.99. So basically, you're getting Mario Kart 8 for free. While Nintendo has offered similar bundles in the past, the big announcement here is the $20 discount on select games. So all of those games will be discounted by $20. That includes Breath of the Wild, New Super Mario U Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Maker 2, Paper Mario the Origami King, Kirby Star Allies, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Astro Chain, and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, all for $39.99 each. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit will also be discounted to $60 as opposed to $100, and Ring Fit Adventure will drop to $55, which is $25 off its typical price of $80. Lewis, any of these deals do anything for you?
Ah, God, just this is like the 5th year in a row where Nintendo bundled Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the Switch. Okay, I am tired of this bundle every year.
Yeah.
It's
Selling though. Works.
I mean, I know that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is like the highest selling game in the Switch, But come on, do you really need to do this? Like, anyways, there's that, and also, I am disappointed with the selection of the $20 off titles. These are much older titles, like launch games like Breath of the Wild and Mario Maker is kind of old. They're like these games are like long in the tooth. I would have preferred if it were like newer games such as Skyward Sword HD, got the $20 off discount. Personally, I would have tried to like make it so it's because I already own all of these games. You know what I mean? Like these don't do anything for me. The only thing I would actually buy from Nintendo Black Friday wise would probably be Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. But even then, I just don't want things in my house. I just don't want to have that in my house, and it's not gonna. I don't know where to put it, and so that's the only reason why I didn't want to buy it in the first place. But $60, it's it's a little bit better. I guess it's a little more palpable. But otherwise, I'm disappointed.
What you can get at GameStop right now actually is better than the Switch deals in a way, because the Switch games are already discounted, and because they have the buy two get one free.
It's the same price.
You could possibly get, like, let's say you want to get Mario Kart, Smash Ultimate, and Mario Odyssey. They're all for around $40, and you can spend $80 and get all three. So that's possibly a good deal for you to look at right now. I'm looking to see if there's any Switch games here that I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, Louis, that's it.
That's it. All right. I'll go ahead and take us home. So before I sign us out here, I just wanted to give one last plea to you, Dan. All right. So we did a show and tell for Sharing the Love where I brought the Game Gear out and I was able to show the audience, here is the actual Game Gear. And I was like, here are the actual Joy-Cons that I'm like want to talk to you about, I'm able to do like a visual gag when I was like $1 billion, like Dr. Evil and stuff like that. These are things that you can see and you can't really hear. So I know we already decided, just saying, but like there's some positives for video. Just throwing that out there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I thought you were gonna request me to do something like, you just actually gave me an idea, Liz, and we're gonna talk about it right after we're done with the show.
Okay.
All right.
So with that being said, it is time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Ready Press Play. Remember, you can reach the podcast at Ready Play Network or ReadyPlayNetwork.com or simply at Ready Press Play on Twitter or TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Chakalaka88 and Dan
at the Dan Lima.
Don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, and tell your friends about the show and all that good stuff. Peace.
See you next time. Bye-bye.